Oris flew me out to Singapore, and it's damn hot and sunny. Let's see how it goes. Hi everyone, I'm here with Michael Meier from ORIS. Michael, nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
And thanks for having me here.
No, it's great. It's great to have a chance to meet, actually. It's about time.
Yeah, awesome. I've been talking about ORIS for quite a while on my channel. So first of all, before we get into it, how are you?
Very well. I mean, I'm here in Singapore right now. It's always good to be here. I like being in the market, see what's happening, talk to people, meet people, and just be very close to also the consumer.
Awesome. So just for everybody to know, your role at the moment is as Regional Director of ORIS.
Yeah.
So could you talk a little bit about what exactly that means?
Well, basically, we're a small company. So basically it means that I have to take care of everything that happens in the region. No, look, I mean, when we look at the region, and I'm basically looking at Southeast Asia, but also the north of Asia, Oceania, then what it basically entails is that I'm just taking care of all of the elements with the brand. In some of those places, we have our own teams. In some places, we work with partners. And, well, in the end, it's just, my mission is just to come here to share basically the joy of mechanical watches and with everyone, and just make sure that people know ORIS, know what we're doing, know what's behind it, and well, help us to get more awareness in the region, sell watches, obviously, and just spread that joy that we have from mechanical watches.
Excellent. So I want to ask you one thing. If, let's say somebody's looking for a new watch and they walk into an ORIS boutique and they've never heard of ORIS before, how would you explain this brand to them?
Yeah. Well, how would I explain the brand? And basically, what's important to know is we are a Swiss manufacturer of mechanical watches. Now at ORIS, we only do mechanical watches. So already from a starting point, you know that there is that level of quality. It's just mechanic. There's nothing else. Automatic, obviously, in most cases. So meaning that we don't use batteries. I mean, that's the starting point when I talk mechanical, right? We don't use any batteries. All our watches are fully mechanic. And then, as I said, with most of our watches, we use automatic movements that are able to recharge with a rotor. Some from your motion. There's very few exceptions. One is the one I'm wearing today, which is the Pro Palette X caliber 115, which is a hand-wound caliber, an in-house caliber that runs for 10 days. And every 10 days, now I have still a couple of days left. Every 10 days, I have the joy of rewinding it and repowering my watch. So that is one aspect. That's really quite on the product side. But when you're looking at the brand as a whole, I think what really makes ORIS special is the fact that we are an independent company. We are, ever since our management buyout in 1982, we have been owned by the same small group of shareholders, basically a family company. And that's just one chapter in our history. The company has been around since 1904. And ever from the first day to today, we have been in the same place in Holstein in Switzerland, which is a very small village. Now that's the historical part. And now when we look at really today, I think that we want to always do things that actually, as we say, make sense, right? So when you're looking at our watches, we have our in-house movement with 10-day power reserve on the hand winder, but we also have a 5-day automatic movement where we took a lot of care to create value for a consumer. And we did this by basically building a watch movement as we would want it, as fans ourselves, as collectors ourselves. So I think this really encapsulates the making sense part, that we really always look at things from a consumer perspective, trying to find solutions that actually make sense. And then third is our commitment to sustainability. And when we talk about that, I mean, sustainability has different facets. I mean, there is the economical part. We're a small company. We need to be very mindful of that and operate in a sustainable way. Otherwise, we couldn't survive. That's always been part of our DNA ever since the first days, right? I mean, and that's how we operate, and that's how we became who we are today. And I think what's important there is to say that for us, this is not only a statement, because it's just what people want to hear today, but it's something that we really actually believe in, and that we're trying to get a little bit better every day. Sure, we're running a business, and running a business has certain, emissions, you could say. We were measuring those to the last detail. We are optimizing them through the whole business. But yes, look, if you want to boil it down to three things, we are an independent company. We are really committed to things that make sense. And I think it particularly is visible with our new movements, our in-house movement. And third, we are very focused on sustainability. We want to make a positive change, and not just because it's in fashion, it's because we've always done that. So yes, that's basically what all comes together.
I have another question regarding marketing, on the marketing side.
Yeah.
Tag Heuer has Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
ORIS has Mr. Teddy Bear.
Yes. Our ORIS.
What's going on?
Well, look, I mean, you have seen our ORIS bear, right? Yeah. And this year we actually also have another friend of the brand joining us, Kermit. And there's been, I guess, quite a bit of a buzz around that, which is fun. Look, there's times when you want to work with, whether it is organizations, people that have a message, and there's times when you really want to share the essence that comes from within, from the brand. And for us, this has been the ORIS bear is a good element in that stretch, because it really talks about what's within, right? I mean, this is really where we can share our stories. And in the end, I think why we like the ORIS bear, because it's, everybody loves them. So that's a good start, right? There's lots of stories that revolve around him already. So that's nice too, when he was kidnapped in Basel at one point by we don't know who, but we found him again. I think we just want to have a bit of fun too, right? I mean, we were very serious about watchmaking, about our products, our watches. We wear a watch because we like it. It's an emotional product. It's fun. It's about joy, and it's about the joy of mechanical watches that drives us.
Definitely.
And this is the story we want to tell, and I think the ORIS bear has been a very good communicator in that regard. And let's see what's next.
I think he needs more FaceTime.
More FaceTime.
He's just kind of there. I was reading Moments in Time. I think it's a catalog of ORIS.
Yeah.
And on one of the pages, I believe it was page 17, the word smile is mentioned 9 times.
9 times. Yep.
And I had to count it because I was like, okay, it's just, repeating so many times.
Yes.
My question is regarding this, the fact that you guys care about making people happy, and we can see that with some of the releases as well, the cotton candy dials. Is this just on the surface level, in the sense that it's just about the product, that the watch will make people smile? Or is there a deeper thing there that extends beyond just the watch into the after sale experience? How's the mindset there?
Well, it's funny that you picked this up on the smile part. It's no coincidence, actually. I mean, not that it has to be 9 times on one page, but that was certainly that storyline about smiling in a way. Look, I mean, it just basically takes us right down or right up to the purpose of the company. And when you're looking at what our purpose is, internally, externally, I mean, it's make people smile. This is the purpose as we have defined it for the company. And this guides us every day. And when we do this, I mean, it just gives us a very clear vision in a way. It just shows us how to deal with not only situations, but the whole approach to watchmaking and everything else we're doing. So I do hope that whether it is in a boutique, in our factory with our watches, or also in after sales, that you feel that, yes, because that's also a bit of a guiding principle for our people. And when you're dealing with a tricky situation, then, well, our goal still is make people smile. So we always aim for that. And we aim for that when we design a watch. We aim for that when we design a process, when you think about the process for consumers, but also for, when we're with suppliers and working with partners. And it's just basically in every step. And it takes us back to what we're actually doing here. I mean, we're selling mechanical watches. We're selling a product that is not an essential product.
Yeah.
And the purpose of a mechanical watch should be to make you smile, because it's something that is fun. It's something that you like because that you wear because you like it. So it's all coming together.
Yeah. This can be a tough question.
All right.
I think the only complaint or the point of hesitation for a customer to get into this brand is when they look at other brands within the same price point and they see that they might be getting 60, 70, 80 hours of power reserve with other movements, with ETA-based calibers. So have you kind of thought about this, and are there any future plans to kind of address this, the power reserve within the entry level? Because again, I understand the caliber 400 is awesome, but for a lot of people that might not be attainable.
Yeah.
So on the attainable side, on the more entry level, are there any plans to kind of address the power reserve?
Look, I mean, right now these base calibers that we're using, the source calibers, they're offering about 40 hours of power reserve. Yes, I know there's others like as you mentioned, the ETA movement, or some of them at least, that offer a high power reserve. Right now we're very happy with the source movements we have, the ones we use. So we have no immediate intention to kind of like change them. And obviously we're always looking at all of the options in the market, and then we're working very closely with Solita to see, what optimization potential there is. But when we're talking about the next level, what we're looking at is our caliber 400, and this is where most of the effort is going in terms of taking those next steps, adding, making the movements better, and so on. So we feel very comfortable with the two levels right now, and we feel very comfortable with the Solita base movements are very, very solid. Sturdy movements that work really well, and I guess in most cases, also 40 hours of power reserve should be well, really good. But I can understand, yes, there's different offerings out there. It just adds up on the price. I mean, then suddenly the watch becomes more expensive, and every little detail basically that you change needs to justify itself.
Yeah.
And if you're saying, okay, I'd like to have a watch that has a certain amount of hours of power reserve, and you adjust this, then the movement will also be more expensive, because you can't just basically change the mainspring and you're good. There's a lot of other things that you'll need to be careful about when you're adjusting or when you're upgrading movements. I mean. And then in the end, you end up with a more expensive product.
Yeah.
And this is something that we constantly balance with all of our watches. From every single one. Whether what can we do to make this better, and is it creating value for the consumer, or is it not? And if you feel like it's not creating that really strong incremental value for a consumer, then we probably are more happy to offer that very attractive price point.
Yeah. All right, Michael, thank you so much for answering all of the questions.
Pleasure.
So guys, stay tuned. We are going to do a second part where we will look at some of these new releases.